This is the Best or Worst podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Koji Steven Sakai and M. Martin Mapoma.
All righty. Welcome. This is episode number 53. And I'm Koji.
And I'm Martin.
That was super
Koji hates it when I do that. No, I was trying to.
All right, sorry. So our society's so focused on celebrity, we sometimes forget that regular people lead interesting lives too. Best or worst moment in your life, hosts Koji, that's me.
And Martin, that's me.
That's you. Are here to let your story out. We put people on the spot. What are you going to hear? It could be funny. It could be poignant. It could be sad. You'll know when we know. Best or Worst is now a twice weekly podcast. On Tuesdays, we get to know our guests, which we already did last. So if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. If you want, listen to it and find out about Jack. And on Thursdays, we find out their best or worst moment, which is today's episode. And just a reminder, you don't have to listen to both if you don't want to. You can listen to just this episode, or you can just listen to the last episode. Whatever floats your boat. We're happy that you're listening. Thank you very much, Martin.
All right, Jack, welcome back.
Yes,
welcome back, Jack. I've been dying to have
you back, guys.
again.
And it's been a super, super long time. It's been forever since we.
Yeah, it's been so long. I've grown a beard already. It's just a quick recap. Jack is a cross country extraordinaire. Very humble. You know, top runner in the state when he graduated, 8th in the country at the time. Just finished up school at Georgetown University in Foreign Service. Yes. That's how he rolls. You know, I want to say real quickly, listening to Jack, I've known Jack since he was 13 years old. If you listen to the first episode, you hear all about that. But your maturity level has just it's insane to hear you talk now compared to when you were that 13-year-old punk kid, man.
I was a punk,
So I want to tell a quick story. Jack is going to hate me for doing this, but when he was
I signed up for this.
He had such a smart mouth. Two things that happened that made me laugh. At my old gym, which I will not name, when you were talking to one of the obnoxious trainers that we had there, and you cracked on his greasy hair, and Jim and I just fell out because he just he just blanched. Oh, it was hilarious, Koji. And then when you asked Michelle to get you something from Starbucks, and she brought it back, and you're like, I don't want that. And she was going to kill him. She's like, oh, this kid was not 13 years old. And your mom was so mad. She apologized for months after that. But seeing you from then and to now, it's been pretty amazing. I'm really proud of you, Jack. I had anything to do with it. But, your parents were
glad I've come so far.
No, you have. It's just, like I said, in our last conversation, just listening to you, how much you've grown. And, I think you chose the right career path. In foreign service, besides being a professional athlete. But I definitely think that
collegiate athlete.
Collegiate athlete.
Well, we'll see about the professional.
I'm hoping for one of these days. But I think that I definitely think that you're on the right track because you definitely have the personality. I have the personality to be, someone that can represent this country in foreign service in a very, respectful and commendable way. So, that being said, Koji. You know what? Jack and I have talked about this a couple of times. I want to go with Jack's best.
Okay. Is that a question or is that a statement?
No, it's a statement. I'm saying that. Okay. So, Koji, you already asked about you asked about his running, which was actually really funny. I was like,
if Koji wants the worst, we can give him what he wants.
No, Jack, knowing you the way I do, I think hearing someone's going to put a smile on your face.
Right. Let's go for your best. Let's go for your best moment then. That sounds good. Let's hear it.
Okay. So thought about this a lot. You asked me in the last episode what I think about when I run. I thought about this morning. It took me 9 miles to figure it out, but I think I got it.
Wish you ran in 3 minutes.
God, then I would be a professional athlete for sure. When I was in high school, my biggest goal that I thought I would probably ever have would be to win the cross country state championship with my teammates. So the way cross country works in high school is there are actually teams that compete in state championships at the end of the fall semester, essentially. So the state championships happen typically late November. When I was a senior, it was like November 28th, 2015. And what happens is you have an entire field of runners, and every school that sends athletes sends seven athletes, and all the runners race together. Everybody's on the same course, and then everybody finishes, and then they count your points. And say I got fifth, that would be 5 points added to the team total. And it's like golf, where you want to have the lowest total. So when I was a freshman, my biggest goal was that our team of 7 guys would win the state championship. My coach, my high school coach, Ingrid Hirschkind, was already a 4-time California state champion in the small schools division. As Koji and I both know, the high school that I went to, Flint Ridge Prep, is a very small school, so we couldn't run with the biggest schools in the state, but for small schools we were pretty good. So anyway, she was a 4-time champion, but it had been 11 years since she had had a championship win. Her last one had been in 2004. So I kind of took it upon myself to rally the team and try to win her a state championship. My freshman year, we lost by 1 point. That means if one guy had finished 1 point farther, or one place farther up in the race out of 7 guys, we would have won. So that was very frustrating. We came that close, and that just really renewed my hunger for it. And then finally, my senior year, we did it. We had 7 guys on the squad who were all really solid. For me, I was competing for the individual state championship. I actually was outleaned at the line by this other athlete who now runs for Oregon. His name's Cooper Tier. If any of you follow running, you probably know who that is. But I wasn't the only story, and that's why it was such a good day for me, because I got to see all of my teammates finish after me, and that finish, I think, for them each represented a huge personal victory. So one of my teammates, his name is Evan Patinelli. He currently runs for Yale. He was our second best guy, and he was just learning the ropes. You know, he was a sophomore at the time. I was a senior. And he always believed that he could run with the best guys. He never had any doubt. And on that day, he put it together, and he finished like 5th or something, which was incredible in the entire state. I think that was a real testament to his character and his just utter perseverance, that, you know, as long as you don't doubt yourself, you can do incredible things. Our third best runner had been injured for a month before the race. And he had been rehabbing his foot. And then we didn't expect much from him, and he was our third best guy. I think he got like 8th or something, which was really great. Never would have expected that after a month of not being able to run, that he would then go and run and be one of the best runners in the state. So that was incredible. Our 4th runner, Jonathan Valhalla, he had also been injured, so he also overcame that. And then our 5th guy, his name is Rob Moran. When I was a freshman, he was one of the worst runners on the team. He didn't care. And even when I was a sophomore, he didn't really care. But, you know, starting as a junior, he kind of recommitted to running. And as a senior, he was our 5th man, and you know, he kicked some serious ass. And you know, just having all those guys come together, and that we pulled it off, finally won that state championship. I just remember feeling so good that we've been able to deliver that championship to my coach. We got on the podium, and I just remember it was probably the biggest smile I had ever had, just even though I had lost the individual race. You know, again, that moment was the culmination of 4 years of frustration and, you know, running 60 miles a week and sacrificing, you know, the fun thing, the easy thing, to do the hard thing. You know, getting up at 5 a.m. for practice, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. So, you know, that was just fantastic. As a side note, that race was the one that basically vaulted me to being recruited by top universities. So that's basically how I got into Georgetown University for running. So I owe a lot to that day. I still call upon it today if I'm having just a shit day, which I think a lot of people do. I think it's important that we call upon, important memories that we have, and sometimes we forget that we have them. But what I do is always try to remember how I felt on that day, and it still gives me chills.
Great. Just for clarification, how long is a race?
It's 5K in
5K.
In high school.
And what times were you doing? Just curious. Like what?
Koji's getting competitive.
I mean, not me. I'm not going to beat you for sure. I'm just curious to know.
Because now I can see you now. Takao. I'm sorry. You're gonna make that kid run a 13-minute 5K.
No, I'm not going to do that. I don't think he's a runner.
Well,
he's somewhere sitting there going, "What the hell's going on here?" Times to go ahead, Jack.
So on that day, I ran 15 minutes and 7 seconds. In cross country, the course is really rough, so probably could have run faster if it was on a track. But I was pretty happy with that time. It was probably the 10th fastest time that was run on that course that year. Which I was pretty happy with. I did that in the fall. In the spring, I ran even better. The next spring of 2016 is when I had my big breakout, when I ran the fastest time in California for a Californian. It really vaulted me forward 8 minutes and 51 seconds for the 2 miles.
Jeez, that's insane.
So on the cross country runs, is it? You said it's not flat, or it's not like a track, but is it flat, or is it up hills, or is it just depend on the?
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah, it really is all of the above. It's whatever the sadistic race organizers want it to be. One of the most difficult and therefore well-renowned courses in the world is right here in Southern California. It's called Mount Sac, and it's a 5K course on the college that I think it's out in Walnut, California. And there are 3 huge hills on that course that each take they're each their own beast. One of them is switchbacks up a hill, which just really kills your legs and your mind, because every time you turn a corner, you're still going uphill. You're still going uphill. The other 2 hills are very difficult too. So times on that course, they're fast, but you have to put you have to know that it was run at Mount Sac to know what that time means, because if you ran some of these times on a track, nobody would be impressed. But since we're running basically vertical, for about a third of the race, it's a little more impressive.
Yeah. And what did your coach say when you won? Did she say anything? How did she feel?
It was mostly just hugs to start with. That's mostly I remember. I mean, there are photos. My dad is a big photographer, so he took some photos of us after the race to get everybody's reactions. And you look at photos, we're just hugging each other.
I remember that. I remember that.
That's really what I remember best. And I don't think I was the only one who felt that it had been a 4-year culmination. So and 2 weeks before that, we had run really badly in kind of like the qualifier for the state championship. So, there was a lot, we did not necessarily expect to win. We knew we had a chance. But, there was a lot of pent up anxiety. It was also my last shot. It was kind of my last dance in high school. I'd promised myself that I would get this done, that I would win the state championship for the team. I would lead us, as a team captain. If I could win the race, that's the lowest score you can contribute. If you win the race, you only add 1 point to your team score. So I ended up adding 2 points, but that was enough. My teammates all, I just, and the race is up in, it's up in Fresno. So it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive back down here. And I remember on the drive, we were still just, celebrating. Can't really remember exactly what my coach said to me, but I know it was positive. I still see her every few months. We'll still meet up for lunch, and just kind of catch up. And no matter what we do, I feel like we always end up talking about that day. Because that day just carries a lot of positive feelings, I think, for all of us.
Has Prep won since? Has Prep won since that match?
They've come close, but no. Hey, Koji, did you go to Flemish Prep?
I did. We had a conversation about before you got on the phone, or before you got on the Zoom call. We talked about Prep a little bit. I went there when it was way different though. Background on when I was at Prep, it was like the flunky for poly. It was pretty funny because like it was like everyone who didn't make it to poly was like, that's the reason they're at Flemish. Now it's like Flemish became toward the end of my Flemish days, and after Flemish, it was like it became a way just clearly just a better school, like a good school to be at by itself. But when I was there, it was definitely like, oh, you didn't make it to poly too, like kindergarten. But because poly only takes poly only takes a certain number of people, so it's like if you're not in poly, there's there's not a lot of other choices.
Well, not back then there weren't, but now there's more. Right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the elite, like prep kind of schools, like the schools that where you like Jack and I talked a lot about, that the hardest work I ever did was at Flint Ridge. I mean, I studied more at Flint Ridge than anywhere after that. My 7th grade year, I studied more than college as a whole.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that because Westridge is known for that. To the kids that I trained.
Westridge is the sister school of Flint Ridge.
Westridge? No, I thought Sacred Fashaw was.
I thought it was
right.
I believe
Flint Ridge Sacred Heart
is. I believe, Flint Ridge Sacred Heart is its own thing because they're denominational.
Yeah.
I think they're a Catholic school, and I believe Prep is affiliated with Westridge.
Yeah.
Oh wow, shows you how much I know.
Because Flint Ridge used to be a boys' school only. When my brother was in school, it was pretty much like. It was like 90% boys and 10% girls. And by the time it was my grade, it was like 30% girls and 70% boys, which made it terrible for the boys and great for the girls. Because the joke is you could be not a cute girl and be like wanted because there's so many boys.
Wow. Well, that makes sense if they're sister schools. But the thing with Westridge, though, I have 2 kids that I train. They said the same thing. And it's like they're going to go to college and relax because their schedule is it's insane right now. It has been in the last few years. But they people say that they're preparing them for college. It's like college is going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
They're definitely overkill.
Yeah.
Well, Jack. Go ahead, Martin.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna wrap up the episode, but I really loved your best moment. It's everything I tell my son in terms of working hard and kind of fighting for it and overcoming and determination. And so I love that. So I'll definitely play it for my son so you could hear also how fast you ran the 5K.
That poor kid, man. Look at you like you were not trying to give me around 15.
No, we're never gonna get 15, dude. It's like it's.
I don't know, man. The way you have that
he's
kid
8,
running right.
Maybe.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The way he's running now, dude. If he doesn't stop running, he might not run a 4-minute mile, but I'll tell you what, It's hard not to improve when you're that age. Speaking as a professional,
we're trying to do we're doing speed stuff on every other day now, so we're trying to get to like 9-minute miles and then
let's go.
Yeah.
What are the chances? What are the chances that an 8-year-old kid running a 9-minute mile is not going to improve that by the time he's 14 or 15 years old?
See. Ultimately, it's all for jujitsu. No, just kidding.
Murder yoga, right?
Murder yoga. Yoga.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
And for everyone
Happy
listening,
to be here.
Thank you. And for everyone listening, please, we have a new Patreon page. So go to our website, go to www.bestforworstpod, go to the show notes, click on it. Everyone thinks that podcasting is totally free, but it's not. There are costs, not just Martin and my time, but there are costs to it. There are hard costs that we have to pay. So any kind of help is really great. We have really low $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, and you'll get some benefits that are special for each of those levels. So go to on Patreon. Please support us. It'd be really, really great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. It was a great conversation, and bye, guys.
Jack, see you soon.
See you later. Thanks, guys.
All right.